Hi there. I am Wendy Keys Turnbull, and this is my regular Wednesday night live with Wendy. And today I'm going to be making a center stage card, which as I said, hi Debbie. As I said, I cased from Jennifer McGuire. She's not a Stampin' Up! Representative or demonstrator, but I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Hi Angela. I love the cards she makes. I love her ideas. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, hi Sherry, all of my stuff is tied up for this weekend. So I have very little to work with. So I'm not coming up with a sample ahead of time and then showing you how to do it. Instead, I have one card partly made, and I'm going to show you what I've done so far, and then I'm going to finish the important part, the inside. So let me just move this out of the way, and I will show you. This is the beginning of the card, and let me start right there with telling you what I did here. I used Stampin' Up! Masking paper, and I cut off a piece, and I used one of these, the Encircled in Nature dies, maybe that's what it's called, I don't know. And I cut a hole out of a piece of masking paper, and then I put the masking paper on here, and then I inked. Let me show you the pieces that, let me see, where are they here? I already threw away what I used, but it should be here on top somewhere. Oh well, I don't see it in here now. All I see are the backs of it. I don't see the fronts of it. So, at any rate, you get the drift, right? So this is masking paper. It's like, let's say it's like Post-it note paper. So I cut the circle out of the middle of it, and then I placed this piece. This is what's left of what I cut it out of. I placed that piece, I tore off the backing, and I placed it over here so that just the circle was showing. And then I used, and of course I already put it away. Hang on a second. Right here. I used Fields of Bloom. And I kind of wanted to make this an autumn card because on the inside I'm going to use autumn leaves. So I used autumn colors. I used crushed curry, and this is copper clay, and I used Cajun craze, and I used real red, that sort of thing. So that's what I did for the outside. Excuse the little bit of green that I got on there. It was quite the trick because I'm using this as my block today because all of my blocks are in my 20 cards that we're doing tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Saturday morning. So see if I got rid of I'm trying to move my light and see if I'm getting rid of some of the, okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, so on the inside, for this center stage card, this is 8.5 by 5.5, standard card base. I took another piece of 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and then I flipped it over and did another score at 2 1/8, and then I made an M out of it. So I did valley folds on the two outer ones and mountain fold on the inner one, and this is going to end up in here, and this is our center stage. But let's get started on what we're going to do on the inside first. So the first thing I want to do, and this is just way too dark for me, sorry, I'm going to put a little bit of color in there. First thing I want to do is I want to blend some colors in here. So I have copper clay, crushed curry, Cajun craze, and old olive. And I can't use old olive first because I don't have a green blending brush, so I'm going to use the yellow blending brush, which looks green, but first I have to do the yellow. So I think I'm just gonna do this at random. I'm not going to do like a landscape. I'm just gonna kind of put random colors on here and get them to all blend in. Get a little darker on there. I really want it to be a little darker. Okay. And then we will switch to Cajun craze. That's a little bit lighter than copper clay. So, well, I can use the brown brush for copper clay. So let me get a little Get it darker. I want it to be nice and dark. Let's get a little more Cajun craze on here. I'll probably go back and do a little more of the crushed curry. I will do a little more of the crushed curry. I really want it to be nice and dark inside of here. All right. And then we'll go to Old Olive and add a little green in here, which I'm going to use the yellow brush for, and I'm not going to wipe it on that because I'm trying to keep using that. I'll wipe it on some scrap paper, so I'm not putting a lot of yellow on my green. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Yep, okay. So let's put a little Old Olive in here. And then I'll wash this brush so I can put it back into the yellows again. Kind of want it to be kind of like a leaf that just fell off of a tree would be around this time of year. I don't like that. There we go. Okay. And then some copper clay. I might have to go back and do a little more Cajun craze because that kind of disappeared. Do a little copper clay in here. Yep, okay. Nope, let's do a little darker. So I'm using basic beige cardstock. I really like this new basic beige cardstock, so... Okay, I'm going to go put a little bit more Cajun craze in here where I have it to make it darker. There, that looks like what you'd see on a leaf. Okay, so let me just make sure that everything's going to... Yes, that's perfect. Just the way I want it. Okay, so before I put this on here, though, I'm going to add some sparkle to this. I am going to use... What do I want to use? Okay, I do have... I am going to put this on the plate here. Squeeze some out, hopefully. Yep. And I don't want to use it like that. I just want to sprinkle it on. Probably squeezed out way more than I needed to. Just a little bit more. That's okay. I have more of these. Okay. That's good enough. Now I don't know where the cap went. There it is. All right. I'll put that back in my turnabout and let's clean this off my desk. It is so bad. All right. Okay, I'm going to set that aside to dry for a couple minutes, and I'm going to, on this third 8.5 by 5.5, I'm going to go ahead and stamp some leaves. And then I'm going to cut a few out, some smaller ones. I think I'll just use all maple leaves this time around. I should have left that on there because, well, I couldn't because I need to use this as my ink pad, my stamp pad. Okay. I'm going to switch to some Stampin' Spots because it's going to be a lot easier to put a bunch of different colors on here. Daffodil Delight, Copper Clay, Cajun Craze, Real Red. I think I'll skip the Calypso Coral. Pumpkin Pie. That seems like a little bit too much orange to me. Well, I guess not. And a little bit of green, so let's get the Old Olive in here. So what I'm going to do, start with the lighter colors. Daffodil Delight would be the lightest. So I'm just going to, oh, that's not sticking. Yes, it is. I'm just going to dab some color on here. Put some Pumpkin Pie in here. Put a little bit of Real Red right in the middle. On the edge. See how that does. I'm going to huff on it. Stick it on here. So it's interesting how, what was that sparkle, Angela? It was Wink of Stella that I squeezed onto here and then just used the Wink of Stella brush to tap it on so that it would create sparkles on the page. Okay, well, not the best because you can certainly see, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put, you can certainly see the lines of the Stampin' Spot. So let's do something a little different here. Let's make these a little bit less. And put a little green into the middle of it, and maybe that'll take away some of those lines. Try to get it lined up perfectly here. Still not thrilling. It'll do for this one. Okay, so for the smaller ones, and I don't need that. Actually, you know what? I have an even better idea. We're going to do this instead. We are just going to put some color on the paper, and then we're going to cut out the things without stamping them. Now, some of these are a little dry, I see. I shouldn't have done the green first. Now I'm going to have to clean my Stampin' Spots and re-ink them. Okay, Cajun Craze. Oh, that one's juicy. Copper Clay. Try to get rid of some of those lines that the green one gave. That's going to be too dark. Let's let that dry for a second. We'll put a little bit more. Probably would have been better. Yeah, it would have been better if I used the blending brushes. Duh. Okay. Let's get some on here with the blending brushes. See what we can do to blend some things in a bit. Real red. I don't have a red. Yes, I do. I have a small red brush. Okay. Get some real red in here. So, like I said, I couldn't prep this ahead of time because I just didn't have enough supplies to get a sample made up and then do another card. So I was thinking about doing another Christmas card. The neat thing is that this process, I guess I'm going to have to use a new one anyhow. This process could be done with any stamp set and any die shape too. It doesn't have to be circular at all. In fact, Jennifer McGuire used like an arch. So it was flat along the bottom and curved at the top. And that's what she used for one of hers that she did, one of her samples. This yellow is really, really dry now. Let's see. Cajun Craze. I've got quite a bit of that in there. Let's put some green in and see if we can't. All right, that's the yellow brush. Orange, red. Where'd the yellow brush go? There it is. Which has green all over it, so. Okay. See what we can do about this. That's a little better over there. Sorry about all the lines in here, but we do what we can. Okay, so let's try cutting some things out here. Let me put this back. And I could even, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm just going to cut some shapes out, and the smaller ones are going to have veins in them, so that'll be nice. I'm going to use my big cutting machine so I can do a few at once. I don't have to cut down the paper. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to try and pick some spots that I like what I'm seeing in them. Put one there. Put one here, we'll put one over here. I'm going to do about 6, so 2 big ones and the small ones. And I may add to this later, we shall see. Come off of there. There we go. I kind of like that. And let's get these out of here. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, actually, I think the green that is on the leaves now is much brighter than Old Olive. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, let's do a few more little ones. I think maybe one big one is enough. Let's do a few more little ones. I may do a big one on the outer edges. I'll show you what I mean. Let's get some red in here. Okay. My hands are getting very inky. Didn't quite get cut all the way through because I was over the edge. See how it looks. Here's another one, and another one. Okay, now I'm going to cut a couple of solid green leaves. Just grab a scrap of, let's see, will they fit on there? Yes, I think they will. Almost, not quite. Actually, let's get a bigger piece. Okay, there we go. That'll work better. All right. A couple of just green, and we're going to tip the edges with some Cajun craze or some pumpkin pie. I think maybe pumpkin pie. Okay. Get that off of here. Get out of the way. Okay. I went for a quick walk down my driveway and back before I came on and got myself a little sweaty. Okay. Let's take the green that's already on here first of all and just darken these up a little bit. Just kind of give them a little texture look. And then we're going to take, what color do I have on there? Let's do pumpkin pie. There we go. There, just starting to turn. Let's do this one. I don't know how much yellow will show. Not a lot, but let's do real red instead. Okay. I'm going to leave some green in the middle. There. That's probably what I should have done with all of them instead of the mess that I made, but that's okay. Okay, so now, oops, one other thing I want to do. That's not it. That's it. One other thing I want to do. I want to cut some little tiny skinny strips. I think of the Old Olive. Okay, just a teeny tiny. I don't know if it's going to work on this one. I might need to go use my Carl cutter. No, I think it'll work. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Okay, and then I want 5.5. It's easier on this side. Oh, it's not. 5.5. Right about there. So you don't have to do this step. But I thought it looked really nice when Jennifer did it. So, okay. Hi, Julie. So Julie, I'm doing something called a center stage card. And I did not make a sample because most of my stuff, my Christmas event is this Saturday. And most of my stuff is tied up in the 20 cards for that. So I didn't have a lot of things to work with. So I'm making it. Whoops, there goes my trimmer. Fell off the pile of stuff I put it on. That's my own fault. Oh, it broke. Figures. Oh, it just came apart. It didn't break, I hope. All right. I will, oh yeah, it broke a little bit, but it's gonna be okay. I gotta, no, it's okay. I'll just have to go find my blades and my scorer because they both flew across the floor. Okay. Don't mind me using Barely Art glue. I usually use Tombow, but this was the thing I grabbed. Okay. This one's going right here, just to add a little edging to the card. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this in, this one on this edge, and this one on this edge. And because I put those edges, those little trim pieces on, this won't go flat, but that doesn't matter because it will fold flat inside. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me put my glue away. I'm going to use tape runner for this. All right. And this is Stampin' Seal Plus. And guys, I hope you all know that kits are on sale. Up to 60% off, I think, for some of them. And there's 2 brand new kits in there, and even they are part of the sale. So maybe it's up to 30% off. Hi, Marin. Okay. Put this one right up against here. And that went crooked, I think. No, it seems to be okay up there. It must just not be cut completely perfect. Okay, and I'm going to do this. Whoops. I want that to happen. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to close the card on this part. Oh, see, my card's a little cockeyed. Okay, so there we go. So there's our window into our center stage, and now I'm going to put these. All right, so I'm going to put this one. I don't want it to, it can't go over the center line or it won't, or it'll be sticking out. I'll show you. It'll be sticking out of the card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it down like this, and I'm going to put it right over the score line. So let me find my scoring. Oh my goodness. There's the cutting blade. Where is the scoring blade? It's a brand new scoring blade, which means I have 3 more. So let me just get a new scoring blade out, and I'll find nope, I have 1 more. I'll find the other one later. I'm going to give you 2 scoring blades. They give you 4 cutting blades. Okay. All right. Put this on. Oh, my scoring blade is on there. What do you know? That one stayed on there. It was a cutting blade that flew. All right, so I'll just leave that off for now. Okay. We're going to take this, and we're just going to score it somewhere. I think we'll score it right there. All right. Fold it like that. I'm not putting it back up on the shelf full of stuff. All right, I am going to use glue again for this because I want to make sure that I get it in the right spot and it stays there. So just put a little on here, and we will put that. Do I want it that way? Yes. Okay. Put that right there. Oops, and it got crooked. That's okay. All right. Whoops. Right there. Okay, and now. Oops. We're going to close the card again. And there we go. Okay, so that one's on there. And I, of course, got glue all over it. All right, so now these. Hi, Vicki. I'm going to put here around the edges. Let's see, I want that one to be part under. No, I guess I want it over. I think I like it better over. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the edge. I should be using my fine line glue. I'm going to put it right here. Now, Jennifer put all of hers tucked in on the inside, but she didn't do, Well, she did do one with flowers, though. Okay, and I'm just going to, I'll put some of them in the back. See, so you make sure that none of them go over the center line, because if they go over the center line, then they're going to stick out of the card when you close it. So I'm going to make sure that that doesn't go over the center line. I'm going to put a couple behind the circle, like, I better put that one on this side. Over here, like so. And let's put this one up on the top. I think I'll put that one partly inside. Up here, like so. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait for these to dry. Can I get that? Yeah, it's fine, okay. Before I close the card completely, because I don't want it to stick closed. All right, so now we'll put this one like so, right there. Oops. So it's kind of like a fall scene is what I'm trying to create. It does not want to cooperate. All right, what I have left? Just one left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to put this one underneath here like so. Oh, there's not enough room there. So I'm going to put it over here instead. So it's lopsided on purpose, you know, mostly on one side. Oops, come on. My fingers are sticky, so it's sticking to my fingers. Even the glue bottle is sticking to my fingers. Okay. So you have the outside, I'm thankful. You have the inside, and we're going to put, if I had done this before I put it in, I could have put my inside sentiment right there, but I'm going to go ahead and put it, actually, I got a couple of things. I'm just trying to get the glue off my hands. So, today and every day, or to have a friend like you, or for all you do. I'm going to put this over here. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. I'm going to put to have a friend like you on the other side. Okay, unfortunately, I have to use this as my stamp base, as my block. And let's see, what color do I want to put that in? I think I'll put that in Cajun Craze. This is not going to be easy to do with this. Squish. Okay. To have you as a friend. All right, and then over here, I am going to put, Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. And we are going to clean that off first. Excuse my arm. To clean that stamp off. Put it away. Actually, I'm just going to set it over here for a minute. Okay. And I'm going to do this. This is what I should have done with the other one. Okay. All right. And this one I'm going to do, I don't know if Daffodil Delight will show. Crushed curry will, though, I think. Okay. Very careful that I don't get it all over the place. Okay. All right, so I will show you, and then I'll leave it open to dry the rest of the way. I need to crease this a little bit better. I think I have a bone folder here somewhere. Let me just get one. The other one's from out of here. Okay. All right. So it says, I'm thankful, and it has that pretty fields in bloom, the clouds, the gray clouds in the sky, and then to have a friend like you, have you as a friend. What do you think, guys? Hi, Cheryl. Thank you. Hi, Collie. Yeah, watch the whole thing later because I show you how I did this front circle and what to. And again, you guys, when you do this, it does not have to be a circle here. It could be any shape that fits in between. So this is 4¼ inches. And it could be any shape that's smaller than 4¼ that fits in there. I thought about doing, what was it? Like a square, making a diamond, or the, let's see what these are here. Somewhere in here, hang on a second. These. Thought about doing one of these in here. That would have been nice too. It would have been a much less wide, a much smaller width there to show everything, but it would have still worked. You could even use a shape like this. As long as it's symmetrical, you can use any shape to cut your circle out. And again, I used the same circle die, which is called, it should be on top, but it doesn't seem to be. Spotlight on Nature, not encircled in nature. Spotlight on Nature, this one I used to cut my circle out. And that's also what I used on the release paper or masking paper to cut a circle out so that I could stamp here and have the rest of the card blank. I think what I will do is add some bling here. I'm not sure what I've got available right now. Let's see here. If I've got anything that will work in here. I'm going to be so thankful when Saturday is over. I mean, I love doing my Christmas event. I'm really excited, and I'm feeling comfortable about where I'm at in my prep. And so, but I will be very happy when it's over with and I can have all of my acrylic blocks back and all of my ink pads back and all of that sort of stuff. And okay, we're going to do this. We're going to put, this one might be too, yeah, it's fine. And then I think I'll put another one of these on. Maybe right here. There. Okay, so there's the card, and it goes flat so it fits into an envelope to be sold, and there's the inside. And I am really pleased with it. Not knowing how it was going to come out, I'm very happy with how it came out. So that is it. So if you didn't hear me, if you weren't on when I first said it, kits right now for this month are on sale, and it's first come, first served. So if there's a kit that you're interested in, make sure you get on and get it ordered. I do have a kit together coming up at the beginning of December. So if you want to purchase a kit to use in that kit together, I do have some here for sale. I can post what I have, but if you wanted to pick your own one and purchase it in advance and just bring it in December, I will be having a kit together here in December because December is just too busy for me to do a full card class. So it's nice for me to be able to sit back and relax and work on kits with you. I expect that I will be working on all of those many paper pumpkins that I have backed up there waiting for me to finish them. So, okay. So be sure to watch from the beginning if you didn't and see how I did all of this. I am going to use this again. I really like this process. So, okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you being here. I'll see many of you on Saturday. Those that I'm not seeing, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you back here next Wednesday. Love you all. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.